Well, hello there again. This is our third episode ever of Cast from Culturally Rock. With us today we have Meachum.
Yeah.
Yup. And Jeffrey.
Greetings.
Jeffrey?
Greetings.
You were pausing dramatically, apparently. Because we're here to talk about Game of Thrones, and we need our drama. I mean, it's been almost a year since we've had it. And I guess you're just sort of like, you're preparing ahead of time.
Yes, speaking of drama. Yes.
All right, well, gentlemen, shall we preface this by saying where we left off, we finished up with some sort of synopsis of last year's finale, and we've been waiting, man. We've been waiting patiently. And contrary to what many people believe, unless you were really looking for it, like me, you could pretty much stay spoiler-free for Season 6.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you gonna spoil things for us?
Well, I will say this, that in my neurotic checking for news, which began promptly after seeing the finale, you're always looking for some evidence of Jon Snow. I mean, am I right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. So they started filming. We knew they started filming, and once Jon Snow showed up at the airport in Belfast, you're like, "Oh fuck yeah, Kit Harington's there!" And then of course people are like, "Oh yeah, he's got to play a dead body." I'm like, "Oh fuck you people, Jesus!" But anyway, we'll get more into that. But for the time being, we were left with some, dare I say, cliff-hung moments at the finale of Season 5 last year. And I guess that's where we should go ahead and start talking about our main characters and where we left off. So the first one I wanted to talk about is a character who I have been reading about, who shall be coming into her own this season. And that is one Sansa Stark hyphenated Ramsay Bolton. Okay?
Ugh.
So guys, where we left her off last season, her and Theon saved her life essentially, and the last we saw them was them jumping off of the ramparts on Winterfell and into the abyss below, and we don't know what happened. Although I think we were left to assume that they were going to land in some snow, because snow, after all, is pretty soft. I'm not saying we're going to jump, from a 5-story window into a snowbank, but you can probably get out of it all right. Anyway, so that's where she left off, and then of course Theon was with her, and then we're going to move on to where Arya left off, and Arya left off in sort of a precarious position. I thought her arc had taken a very interesting turn last season. What do you guys think?
Arya definitely, she's learning definitely some skills to knock some more names off of her list.
She done pissed off Jack and Hagar.
Oh yeah, for sure. Jack and Hagar,
If that
the
really
kindly
even
man, or
is
whoever.
Jack and Hagar.
Yes, kindly man, yeah. That assassination she did on that one guy was epic.
Yeah.
Trant. Mern Trant. That was pretty bizarre. I think the show went out of its way to make us really not like that guy when we already really didn't like that guy.
Bring me a younger one so I can beat her.
He's a weirdo, pedophile guy, in addition to being like complicit in Ned Stark's murder. What a bastard. I'm like, no man, he fucking killed Ned Stark, so fuck that guy. Anyway, okay, so Arya done pissed off the folks at the House of Black and White there in Braavos, and we left off with her cliffhanger that she was blind. Ooh.
Which isn't that much of a cliffhanger compared to the book. Yeah, it's different.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Actually, it's more of a cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, that's right, because George R. R. Martin has actually released an Arya chapter or 2. I don't remember exactly. Winds of Winter, and I'm trying to think. Like, I think is she still Michael? Is she still blind in that early chapter?
Yeah, I think as long as she's drinking that the like potion,
the milk.
Yeah, then she's blind.
Yeah.
But
for some reason, I remember saying like, "Oh, she's catching wise. Like she knows what's going on." It's about maybe it's at the end of Dance of Dragons. She also goes and finds Needle that she's hidden away as well. So like I don't know. Like I'm thinking that, okay, we're gonna get some sort of. I've seen it on the internet. They're calling it her Daredevil training because she's blind and she's learning to kick ass. But I'm not so sure how long that's going to last this season.
Yeah.
Because in the book, I get the impression that she's not long for Braavos.
Yeah, I think that it's winding up.
Wondering where they're going with her story. That's for sure. And I haven't finished the book yet.
Oh, that's right. You are currently reading through Dance with Dragons. Yeah, well, I guess we're sort of spoiling things, but not really since you have seen the show.
No, it's okay.
No, like I get the impression that, well, at least in the book, that they're trying to, Arya's being called back to Westeros.
I agree.
I read somewhere, speaking of these trailers, so we have 3 official trailers as of last night. That was like Monday the 18th, and trailers 2 and 3 are actually very similar. But what I'm getting is that, from what I've read, is these trailers are featuring scenes only from the first couple episodes of the new season. So that really opens up what could be on the back end, especially in store for Arya. Like, are we going to see her step out of Braavos and take her training? And I mean, like, is she going to have a death mark on her if she, abandons her training to be an assassin? Like, well, how does that work? I'm not quite sure how that all goes down.
I just don't know what else she's going to do in Braavos. Like, what more storyline are they going to give her in Braavos? Like,
it's a training montage. This is Rocky IV with cheesy 80 music and her running through the snow to fight Ivan Drago.
Running through the snow, yeah.
Ivan Drago's on her kill list.
And are they ever going to, acknowledge the fact that the other Stark children are wargs as well?
I don't think so in the show.
I have a hard with this Cat of the Canals thing though. It's going to be hard for them not to, because in the books she's seeing through the cat, and I have a hard time thinking that they're not going to do something with that. And even though she's a
really powerful warg, because she is seeing through her direwolf's eyes all the way across the narrow sea.
That's true too. In the book, she's also seeing through Nymeria. So I think that's one of the reasons why she's also getting called back. Is reading the interviews with Weiss and Benioff about producing these last few seasons of the show, is the costs have soared because of all they're putting into it, and it's still sort of cost prohibitive how far they've gotten with what they have to do. And so, like, I can sort of see why they've scaled that back. But to simply ignore it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for me. But anyway,
maybe her newfound blindness will bring about the warg in her.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, cool. Finally, you're not doing a whole lot with CGI. You don't have to CGI in the direwolf. All you got to do is have a little kitty cat running around while she assassinates people. And hey, look, we got it. Anyway, all right, let's pick up. We left off with our boy Jon. I mean, we can't really go. We'll talk more about Jon in a few, but our cliff was hung in a most dire way at the end, like we said here at the top. Dire wolf. Shut up. So Jon Snow, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He's like the 992nd or some shit like that. Assassinated by. It's in the 990 somethings, okay?
Mm-hmm. I hope. And if you flip 999 upside down.
Oh my God, Jon Snow's the Antichrist. Fuck. That must mean he's a White Walker now. Anyway, which is one of the fan theories out there, by the way. But I don't.
Yes, it is.
Stock in that.
But the whole prison shanking is where we left off. That was pretty dramatic.
Yeah. The you know what? We'll just call him Ollie's handler. Anyway, So yeah, we have that dude leading the charge, and of course, he has designs on becoming Lord Commander himself, which I'm sure the traitors are going to proclaim him. At least that's what his intentions are after he kills Jon Snow. But by the trailer for season 6,
Is it Slint?
we are led to believe that we are picking up almost exactly, maybe minutes or an hour where we left off at season 5. The trailer features Davos and what looks like to be Ed, Dolorous Ed Meacham,
Yeah.
in the background. Are you seeing that as well?
Oh yeah.
We're picking up right at that trailer where Davos, he grabs Longclaw and the traitors are breaking down the door, and Ghost is growling next to Jon's body, so shit's about to get real. So we can talk about that in a little bit, but right now we're just updating where we're leaving off with the characters. So the next one we're talking about is Tyrion, who, where we left him, was in Meereen, where plots go to founder. Not as bad as Dorne, but Meereen has been in the book and in the show. It's just like, fuck, just do something else. And so finally,
Which is why they had to have Daenerys leave.
Yeah. So finally, Daenerys is doing something else, thankfully. But oh shit, we have Tyrion along with Varys, which I'm actually happy about because they play off the odd couple very, very well. They're
Buddy comedy.
Yeah. So with Varys, Missandei, and Grey Worm are sort of left to their own devices to rule in Daenerys' stead while she gets taken by the Dothraki horde. So that leads us to the next little bit. That's where Daenerys left off. There was an assassination attempt in the little gladiatorial Colosseum place, and she rides off on Drogon and lands on top of a cliff, and she thinks it's a really wise idea to go like, hey, let's go exploring. And she finds herself, surrounded by the Dothraki horde. Meanwhile, Drogon's all passed out in the back. Of course,
I've been stabbed several times.
He's just chilling. I'm not blaming him necessarily. I'm blaming Daenerys for just going to wander around.
That's what happens when you overfeed your dragon. The dragon doesn't want to fly.
Oh,
You saw those
He's
bodies.
too full.
Well, like I said, stabbing makes you sleepy. Just ask Jon.
Oh, so no theory. He's just sleeping.
Yeah.
He's just really tired.
No. The synopsis for episode 1 of season 6 says first sentence, Jon Snow is dead. Okay? Why would they toy with us like that? Fuckers. Maybe they're taking some hints from...
doth protest too much.
Say what?
I think they doth protest too much.
Oh, I thought maybe they were taking
like,
some
"He's
pointers
dead."
from Walking Dead with shitty cliffhangers. Anyway. All right, so the Daenerys, of course, in the trailer, where she's being led into Vaes Dothrak, where all the former Khaleesi go to sort of serve as... I'm guessing, Meacham, you're probably... Well, I guess, Jeff, you've read the books now. It's my understanding that the widows of Khals go to Vaes Dothrak to just sort of be like a impromptu war council. They're kept in the city. They're not allowed to leave. They're cared for, but they're also not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were pissed at her for not following tradition and just going to be with the old ladies.
And then we get the shadow of Drogon flying over. So you know, just like when the traitors at the wall are about to bust down the door. I'm like, oh, shit's about to get real. I hope so. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Cersei. Where we left Cersei was the Walk of Shame, is I think what it has been called, where she was being held captive by the High Sparrow and
or the hey, look at my penis scene.
You say, hey, look at my penis?
The hey, look at my penis scene. Remember that guy?
I'm like, neither Lena Headey nor her stunt double have a penis. And if I missed it, then, man, I'm really not paying attention. No, yes, the guy.
It's one of the best lines of that episode. I'm a Lannister too. Will you suck me off?
That's right. So cheeky. But of course, when she gets back inside the Red Keep, you have, we're assuming, Zombie Mountain, who is now
with the purple
part
face.
of the King's Guard as, was it Sir Strong?
Sir Robert Strong.
Right, Sir Robert Strong.
Another Robert.
Yes.
Yeah, and in the book, isn't it the mountain's body with a dwarf's head?
I'm not sure.
I don't actually I think in the book it doesn't actually say a dwarf's head. It just said it's like all black underneath. Like there might not even be a head.
Oh,
Like,
damn!
Like it actually just
Cool.
might be a body running around with an iPhone for a brain or something.
Now, what's the name of that? What's the name of that guy who created? Who's doing the experiments?
Qyburn.
Yeah, Maester
Qyburn. So you think he's like creating his own version of like a White Walker type thing, or?
No, I just think he's kind of like he's Frankenstein, man. He really is. He's doing it for the forbidden knowledge. He wants to bite at that apple and see what kind of powers it can grant him. And look what it's done for him in such a short time. I mean, he's on the small council. He's Cersei's right-hand man. He's basically supplanted Grand Maester Pycelle. Anyway.
And
all right.
pretty soon he's going to build him a woman. Pretty soon. That's where it all goes. He's going to build
I was
himself
going to say,
a
he's
woman.
making his own
like
Lady
the
Stoneheart right
Japanese.
now. And Robert Strong.
Yeah.
A vengeful
I think that's a different
zombie.
show. That's Penny Dreadful. I don't know if you guys watched that. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and talk about where we left Brienne and Pod off last year. Where we left them was actually right outside Winterfell, right before Stannis' army attacked and Ramsay Bolton's troops thoroughly decimated them, running them down to the man. And then you have Stannis fleeing in the woods, and instead of Ramsay coming up to talk to Stannis, we have one Brienne of Tarth who's like, dude, you're a fucker, and I'm going to kill you because you killed your brother. And there was some hubbub over the course of the summer and the shooting, whether or not the Stannis was actually alive or dead, because it cut away before the sword fell on the tree. But we have, in fact, heard emphatically from the actors, the writers, the directors, that no, Stannis is dead. Can we take them? Can we take them at their word for that?
I don't think so. I don't think we can take
Really?
their word for anything at this point.
Really? He's not J.J. Abrams. I mean, this is not Khan we're talking about.
I just, like I said, they're insisting that Jon is dead, and they're insisting that Stannis is dead, and hopefully one of those.
I think from a narrative
not true.
I think from a narrative standpoint, he has to be dead because even in the books, you can sort of tell that's where things are going, even if they're not there yet.
I mean, one, he just burned his daughter. And
Yeah, fuck that guy.
and his wife's
Yeah,
gone, and everyone
yeah.
who was with him's gone. And I mean, you can kind of look at it in both ways. Like, why wouldn't they just show Brienne killing him? Like, why would they keep us in the dark? But then, why would they show it too? Like, it's just more unnecessary.
Yeah,
like, blood and
I mean,
gore,
it's-
and like you've known for seasons that Brienne just wanted to kill Stannis, and Stannis has
she's
already like
finally-
kind of brought himself to the end already by doing all this other stuff. And
Yeah,
I think they're just meeting at the right spot, and they don't need to show it. Like, Stannis is just
agree.
done.
I agree, and it's also, I mean, that's less you have to pay for if you don't have to show for it.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the CGI ghost rather than, a fake Stannis head plopping to the ground. Anyway, all right, so that's where Brienne and Pod have left off. Of course, Alfie Allen, who plays Theon, who is infamous, renowned, hated, feared,
Old
whatever,
Dickless himself.
for accidentally spoiling things, because apparently he just has a big mouth. He said in a recent interview that, and you can kind of tell in the trailer anyway, so I don't really think it's that big of a deal. So Alfie Allen had said in this interview that, Brienne comes along. He separates from Sansa because they can hear Ramsay tracking them. So he wants to throw the dogs off. So he's like, hey, run this way, I'll run this way. They end up getting sort of bottled up anyway, but all of a sudden Brienne is going to be coming in to saved the day. I'm not that upset with it because if you watch the trailer, especially trailer 2, you see Sansa chilling in her Stark gown with the direwolf embroidered on her gown. So good things are about to happen for her. And also at the premiere, the Sunday before last, one of the reporters had asked Sansa, okay, what do you see in store for your character? What 3 words can you describe about your character this season? And she said, boss ass bitch. So I think Sansa's finally going to be coming into her own. I don't know if you realize we've already talked a little bit about that, but that's where we left off with Brienne, and I guess tying up with Theon and.
I got a bit of a spontaneous theory that just came up. What if?
Speak.
So Theon and Sansa are fleeing from Winterfell, or in some general direction from Winterfell, and they show a bit of a cliffhanger. They don't show Brienne killing Stannis. What if Sansa and Theon are just running away and run up and encounter Stannis and Brienne? You know what I'm saying? Before she swings the sword.
Oh, to actually see how she does kill him. I don't know. I guess that's possible.
Well, they could stop Brienne from swinging the sword.
But we heard the whack.
I think the whack was was Ramsay, in the next clip, killing the person. I don't know. It's just
maybe
possibilities, It
is. If you're still holding out hope for Stannis the Manus, maybe.
Any redemption? Come on, he could be the 1,000th Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
That's true.
That'd be awesome.
I don't even think that would matter as far as when we get down to our prediction section. I don't think the Night's Watch or the Wall is going to be around for a whole lot longer anyway. But moving on. We have a little bit of Jaime and Bronn, which was, as much as I enjoy, and I've come to enjoy Jaime as a character, I've always loved Bronn. And of course, they're having this buddy comedy down in Dorne.
Another buddy comedy.
And then, of course, they're sent to retrieve Myrcella. That does not go well because they get off the ship and they find out that what's-her-face had kissed her with poison lipstick. And we know that in the trailer, Jaime is bringing Myrcella's body back to King's Landing. So, who knows?
Yeah, my wife got all excited. She thought it was Cersei laying dead there. She's like, is that Cersei? I'm no.
No, man. Cersei has to see everybody else around her die before she can die.
Yep.
That is her. I know we've got the prophecy from the witch or whatever, but you want to see that. You want to see Cersei suffer.
Yeah.
Am I the only one?
Fuck Cersei.
Surely I'm not the only one.
No, that's true.
Okay.
It's like the head cheerleader gets to see the entire football team the entire cheerleading squad get murdered, and then she just decides, what is life?
Maybe Qyburn's gonna do a zombified Myrcella. It's like that movie Fido. She just kind of keeps her around. Zombie on the collar. No, Myrcella. No.
If you haven't seen Fido, everybody, you need to go watch Fido. It is awesome.
It's a very amusing movie. Anyway, all right. So the last, I guess, significant plot point we can talk about, or characters that we want to talk about from last season, is that we left Dear Sam and Gilly had been sent to Old Town by Lord Commander Jon Snow under the auspices of Sam training to become a maester, and they get it on the. It was on the boat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Dear Sam loses his virginity.
Well, actually, the first time is after he got the shit beat out of him defending her at
that's right,
Castle Black.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I think it was the same episode that was Hard Home that happened. Anyway, so yeah, that's where they're at, and I think there's a little bit of them on the trailer, or it wasn't on the trailer. John Bradley, who plays Samuel Tarly, was on Conan O'Brien and showed the clip. I guess that's where the clip of Davos and Ghost and all those guys were as well. He was on the night before, Liam Cunningham, and showed a clip, and then John Bradley did the same with Gilly and him on the ship. But anyway, all right, guys, let's go ahead and since we've filled all that stuff in, let's talk about where we want to go with seasons 6 7 and maybe 8 if we can think that far ahead. But the word on the street is, and I don't know if you guys have read it yet, as Benioff and Weiss were interviewed just this past week, and they were asked about how much further they're going to go, and they're just like, yeah, I think we only have about 13 episodes after this. So the idea is that season 6 would be 7 episodes, and season 8 would be 6 episodes, and of course, abbreviated seasons, and finishing things up. I also read an interview with Maisie Williams just this morning about how she, you could tell that everybody's headed on a sprint towards the resolution of the story, and we're going to be tying it. And I think Liam Cunningham said as much as well, where everybody's just, by the time you get to the end of season 6, most loose ends will be tied up, and season 6, 7, and 8 are going to be basically how everything else is resolved. So without further
White Walkers, basically.
Well, that's the shit that's coming down the pike, but let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that in our discussion of where Bran has been sequestered in the Weirwood, learning the ways of the Force from Bloodraven in his own version of Dagobah. And of course, we have the new casting. This was not the dude we saw at the end of season 4, but Max von Sydow, the legendary Max von Sydow, has been cast as Bloodraven, or the Three-Eyed Crow, and that's who we get to see acting through his parts. And so, obviously, I think the only flashback we've had up until now was that scene that opened was that season 4?
It's season 5.
It has. Oh, so it is a flashback. It's season 5 that opens with Cersei going to see the witch, and this is actually going to give us a device to see several other flashbacks, which brings up a very interesting point, guys. That scene that they shot in Spain with the tower and the rock there, with the guards who are almost certainly Kingsguard wearing a Targaryen crest on their breastplates. Mm-hmm. Is it the Tower of Joy?
Mm-hmm. It has to be.
I mean,
there's no other armor with Targaryen, crests. Is there?
Well,
Are there?
I mean, I'm trying to ask you guys if you can see a logical explanation for it being something other than the Tower of Joy.
No.
I know we want to believe it, but, being of somewhat scientific mind, I want to cover my bases. I want to make sure that there's nothing I'm not, I'm discounting just because I want to believe it's the Tower of Joy.
Well,
which, if I remember right, has to do with Jon's parentage, right?
Correct!
yes.
And, of course, if they're trying to establish Jon's parentage early on in the season, then it almost all but confirms his return, right? I mean, I get that. That's
it would be a little weird if they
that's what's at the
killed
crux
him off
of it.
and then had a bunch of flashbacks.
We'll talk about Jon last because I think he's like the one that everybody's been waiting for. But what do we think about Bran's newfound power in Bloodraven? First of all, I've seen some fan theories out there that Bloodraven's motivations may not be all that pure. What do you guys think about that?
I definitely don't think that he's trying to get him to be on a White Walker or something like that. Obviously that's it's way out there. But I don't see how.
I think it's pretty left field.
I don't see how he's trying to misguide him in any way.
I don't think he has an agenda. I think he's been a part of the internet that is the Weirwood trees now for centuries, and for him to have some sort of negative agenda is somewhat befuddling and beleaguering.
I mean, the children of the forest are literally, with him the whole time. And
right.
So I don't think that. I mean, unless you think that they would have an ulterior agenda. I don't see it.
Right.
I see Bran returning to. He's at the blood of the first men. It's a Stark. He's just home.
Is it just me?
I don't see.
Is it just me, or does he look like he's standing up in that picture with him?
Well, yeah, because he's having a vision. So I think he's not himself necessarily. He's either seeing through the eyes of someone else, or he's just sort of he's in the Matrix and he can walk around and touch things and not actually be there. Yeah, I mean, I don't ever see him getting out of that. The weirwood tree, the Matrix, as it were. I think he's going to be there for the rest of his life.
Yeah, they're growing through him. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think Bloodraven was training him to replace him too.
Stuff.
I mean, it's obviously it's prolonged his life unnaturally. I don't think that. I don't think that Bloodraven would have brought him that far, and having be that old and not be training him to be his successor in the Matrix or whatever. All right, do we have anything else we want to say about Bran and Bloodraven?
Dagobah?
Bran on Dagobah. All right, we're moving on. All right, we've already talked a little bit about it, but questions, guys, questions. Cersei, she's got an axe to grind, and I think we know that Robert Strong is going to grind it. Then we have Tommen and Margaery, Loras, and of course all this stuff is being precipitated by the High Sparrow and the Faith Militant. And the question that I have for you guys then is shit about to go down in King's Landing?
Yes.
So you think it's going to be all-out blood in the streets, or do you think she's just going to go the trial by combat, or what do you think is going to happen?
Both.
Both?
Definitely
okay.
both.
Well,
and
that's the other question. If you guys are familiar with the actor Ian McShane, he has sort of blatantly said he doesn't give a shit about spoiling anything. He talks about how he's playing this religious individual who comes in sort of like an outsider, and he's off on his own. But he basically sets it up like he's the priest from the book with the gravedigger,
yes.
The gravedigger scene. Of course, many people have speculated that the gravedigger is in fact one Sandor Clegane, also known as the Hound. So, is this setting us up for Clegane Bowl?
Yes. Yeah.
Are we going to get it? Are we going to get Clegane Bowl?
Clegane v. Clegane.
I don't know. It's possible. I don't think it's crucial to the story at all. I don't think that the story owes anyone Clegane Bowl, but
I agree. Cool. I'm right there with you. Actually, I don't think you're right. I don't think that we're owed Clegane Bowl. I'm not sure how much I'd be too into it. Like I want to see more of Rory McCann, and I as much as you hate that character, like Arya, like when he was with Arya, you also have to love that character, even though Arya obviously was ready to leave him high and dry. I don't think I would mind seeing him again, but I'm not sold on the idea of Clegane Bowl.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense to me, because if the Septum found Sandor Clegane dying, and the Hound died, but Sandor Clegane is now at rest, then why would he come back and rehash old beef?
I agree.
I think a better ending is for him to just live on the Quiet Isle or whatever it was called.
Somebody's going to die. Like this season, somebody in fucking King's Landing is going to die. I've already put forth my thought that Cersei is going to be one of the last to die. If she dies at all, actually. Tommen, I think we have to agree, is not long for this world.
Yep.
No. Do you think it's going to be... They seem to have this tradition of kind of twisting characters you don't like into twisting characters you can kind of stand. Like Jaime. Jaime started off as a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a douche.
And now you find yourself rooting for him.
He's less of a douche.
Oh shit, what the fuck?
Bronn was, a murderer and a cutthroat, but it's like, I still like Bronn. I mean, there's a lot of characters like that.
Do you think they're going to try to do something similar with Cersei? Kind of...
redeem
change
her?
Around.
No, I don't think
redemption.
I don't think she's redeemable at all. And I don't think Stannis, once he sacrificed his daughter, I don't think he's redeemable anymore either.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's
No,
gone.
no.
Anyway, okay. Well, let's go ahead. That's one of our lingering questions. The next question's about Daenerys, guys. I actually have a few even. Will she be adding the Dothraki to her collection of armies after Drogon lays down some pain?
That's a definite possibility because they also do seem kind of fascinated with dragons, like everybody else.
True.
So.
What you think, Mitchum?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not.
And do you think they're going to do the whole, the other slave cities rising up against Meereen while she's gone type thing? And maybe she's going to come back with the Dothraki and Drogon and lay down the law?
I don't think they'll have any more conflict with Meereen because, like we said, it seems like it's just wrapping up for the most part.
I mean, if you were able to get rid of the Sons of the Harpy, and I think that's actually what Tyrion is going to be doing this season. Tyrion and Varys and Missandei and Grey Worm. I think, like it said in the trailer, like he drinks and he knows things. I think Tyrion very well could use the dragons as, a sort of Death Star to frighten the masses into falling into line. And of course, he could always be, all he's got to do is unleash one or both of them, and then, put up some sort of effigy of Daenerys and let them come down and roast anybody that comes to attack the effigy.
Do you guys think that there's any possibility that Tyrion could be Quentin Martelled?
You think they're merging that storyline?
I mean, in the sense that he gets roasted and then the dragons fly off. Is there any possibility that they would just kill a major character?
No, I don't.
So
I think there's zero
and for no
possibility.
reason.
It could. Tyrion very well may die at the end, but it won't be till the end.
I agree.
I hope not.
I think his character is basically impervious until the end.
Yeah, I don't even.
And the Sons of the Harpy, pretty much all they have is their anonymity.
Right.
And Varys is good at sniffing out
sniffing
secrets.
that shit
so
out.
Once their anonymity is gone, they are also gone.
My theory still stands that the actual harpy is that same whatever lady prostitute, whatever from, because she showed up in both times.
Oh,
the very beginning when they
that's
killed
true.
the first Unsullied, and then the second time where they screamed, "Oh, they came this way and did this and that."
Right,
It's her.
You're right.
It's her.
Ooh, she's a
Interesting.
harpy. That's actually pretty good. You might be onto something.
Oh, I am.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yes.
Meacham got it. All right. So the next question I would have for you then is, I don't see Daenerys staying in Vaes Dothrak for that long in terms of the season, and that begs the next questions is, number one, obviously she's going to have to turn to Meereen. How soon after that do you think she's going to cross the Narrow Sea?
Hopefully not too long. Here's a question I have. Are the White Walkers just in Westeros, or are they in other places too?
I think that they are definitely just in Westeros. However, once winter comes, the sea will turn to ice, and they'll be able to go anywhere the fuck they want to.
No, actually, though, I remember reading something or watching something that was addressing this. That there are multiple stories, kind of like the Flood story, of like these white ice zombies or something that are coming from some direction, and in Essos, like in the far east, there's the Grey Waste,
Right.
And there's supposed to be a wall-like structure that they had constructed to keep these creatures away, and somewhere along the line,
you think the lands of always winter might be connected to Westeros up there at the top?
yeah,
And
maybe because
you
they're
have Essos that sort of,
yeah.
basically we're looking at Kamchatka in Alaska, and of course the Bering land. Is that what you're putting forth here?
Basically, yeah. So
Beringia.
there may be
Yes.
there may be the other
Interesting.
side of it, and so there may be like this as Antarctica
and I don't
or
know if you-
something that these.
I bought the World of Ice and Fire as well, and he has. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm fixing to go ahead and just drop the quid on it. But the maps. He has like a collection of maps out, and I'm really just every time I see a map of Essos, the eastern portion never fucking looks the same.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a variety of sources. So I don't, it's all sort of mysterious. It's ever changing, and it might be like that on purpose. Like George Martin's just trying to keep us in the dark about that. And if that's the case, then you might very well be onto it that Essos is connected to the lands of always winter, like Westeros.
I also remember reading that George R. R. Martin was going to address the how variable length seasons that would that would play a factor in the show or the books or something.
Interesting. All right, I dig it. Yeah. All right, so we think that Daenerys is going to be crossing this season?
I think Daenerys crosses around the same time Jorah is dead.
Ooh.
About the same time.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because Jorah's exiled from Westeros. He can't go back.
Right. Exactly.
Just
so we have Jorah and... Well, she could have pardoned him. I mean, that's not a big deal.
Oh, well, no. He's got grayscale now, though.
Right. Yeah,
can't pardon the grayscale.
Yeah, that's true.
Ain't that the truth?
Jorah and Dario.
Okay, guys, burning questions. Are they going to meet up with Daenerys before she roasts the Dothraki?
No.
Or will they be walking somewhere, see her like riding Drogon over them, leading like a horde of Dothraki, and they're like, oh shit, turn around, go home,
It's like they'll be almost to Vaes Dothrak, and they'll see her fly overhead and be like, shit, all right, turn around, go back.
Would they get to Vaes Dothrak like unscathed? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it's such a far distance. I mean, she was riding Drogon, so I'm sure a dragon flies faster than a horse. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
right.
I would think so.
Right.
It's been scientifically proven.
So
that's right.
So I'm thinking it's just a quick trip up north for Daenerys, and then, but they have to do something along the way. Something has to happen. Maybe Dario finds out about the grayscale, and then they decide, George trying to keep him to stay quiet.
Well, I guess that brings us to my last point about Jorah. Then, do we think Jorah has been sort of a shifty character since the get-go? Of course, he professed his undying love towards the Khaleesi in like season 1. I think Cal was still alive or whatever it was, and he's been proven to have. I mean, even though he thwarted the assassination attempt, he was the one who was informing on her to begin with, to King Robert. Is Jorah going to have any moment this season? And because I think he's probably going to die by the end of the season. Do you think he's going to have any moment where he can just sort of shine, where he can meet a noble end to sort of redeem House Mormont or his father's name or anything like that?
I don't know. It could go a couple of different ways. Do you think Daenerys doesn't get sick? Do you think she'll give him a last minute pity fuck?
I think pity fucks with somebody with grayscale are probably out of the question. Just not a good idea.
She doesn't get sick, though.
Well, that very well could.
Sorry to have to go there, guys.
I did not want to go there, but anyway. All right, guys. Next stop, Winterfell. We got a lot going. We've already sort of briefly touched on this. I think from the looks of the trailer, looks to me like Theon's headed back towards the Iron Isles, and you have Asha, his sister. I think they're sort of merging her character with Victarion. I could be wrong. It's just I'm going off what I'm seeing in the trailer. And is he going to show up at his king's moat? Is he going to put his name forth to be king? Does he even deserve it at this point? And I'm sort of curious about what's going to go on with the whole Iron Isle thing. I thought that they were actually going to milk the Iron Isles storyline from the books this season, just so they'd have more fluff to have like full seasons 7 and 8. But from what Weiss and Benioff have said, they're not even going to fuck with that. They're just going to be like, okay, the Iron Isles, here's a little bit of that story, and then they're going to keep on trucking. Meanwhile, I think Sansa is almost assuredly at Winterfell, and that definitely brings us to some discussion. She's wearing a direwolf on her gown. We've established that. But there's also a scene from the trailer where Davos is, number one, he's standing in front of a Stark banner. Did you guys catch that?
No, I didn't. Interesting.
Yes, he's sitting in front of the Stark banner, and there seems to be they're headed towards. There's going to be a battle for Winterfell, and of course, we knew that had to be coming. It's going to be the Boltons, and I guess some of their still allies. And there's in the trailer, you can also see the a flayed couple corpses being burned alive. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So do you have any guesses who that might be?
I don't know.
Nope.
I'm going to put it forward right now. I think it's going to be Roose and Fat Walda.
Oh, so you think Ramsay's going to kill them?
I think Ramsay's going to. He realizes his level of fuckitude, and he's going to sort of, like a cornered animal. He's going to kill his father, commit patricide, and step matricide, whatever. Who's his?
What end would be good enough for Ramsay to be satisfying? Like,
I think the only satisfying end would be for Sansa herself to run him through in like a really badass way.
Like Sansa to just like cut him apart like pieces, and then toss him piece by piece out the moon door.
Like, hey John, let me borrow Longclaw for a minute and just like slice and dice. Like, I think that would be pretty satisfying.
Sex slave for the horses of the stable?
Nah, not even. He's not even worth it, man.
Maybe the hounds. Feed him to the hounds.
Ooh,
that'd be pretty good.
Feed him to the hounds.
Ooh, yeah,
that's true.
To his own bitches. To his own
bitches. There have been screen caps of a white horse, and because HBO releases these trailers in low res, we can't exactly see what we want to see. But two things. The screen cap of the first trailer, I believe, that came out, it definitely looks like Jon Snow. I mean, did you guys see this?
Yeah, I have seen.
I don't think I've seen it.
Well, it goes hand in hand with one of the, I told you I was doing some snooping, I think it was back in like September or whatever, and sort of the news came out that one of the paparazzis got on to one of their locations where they're filming the battle for Winterfell, and it showed a very much alive Kit Harington with his man bun even in full Stark garb there for the filming.
Looking like Ned.
That's why you think that his death will mean that he sees himself as released from his vow.
Well, that, and I think the wall's fucked, and like there's not going to be a Night Watch to talk about for much longer. I mean, I think it's twofold.
So,
the death does release him from the vow, and of course we've heard that there's another leak or whatever. They've told us the title for episode 3 of season 6 is called Oathbreaker, and like true, Game of Thrones fashion, yeah, I'm sure it has many meanings, which could be like Brienne. Her sword is called Oathkeeper.
Yeah, Oathkeeper. Yeah.
So it could be something with her, breaking a vow. It could be something with Jaime breaking a vow. It could be something with Jon breaking a vow. Something with Sam breaking. There's all sorts of different connotations that it very well could be pointing to, and I'm definitely digging that. But I think Jon's gonna be back by episode 3.
I think so as well. I think he has to be.
I think he might be laying in repose for episode 1 while shit gets ironed out. You might get some little hints of shit going down in episode 2, and I think he's actually fully coming. He might come back at the end of episode 2, and then he might break his oath to the Night's Watch, episode 3. That's mine.
I wonder if he'll come back first, or if he'll learn his lineage first.
Ooh, so that's something we'll talk about here in just a second. Anything else we want to say about this battle for Winterfell, other than the fact that we think Jon Snow has his hand in on this?
Battle of the Bastards. That's all I got.
Bastard Bowl. Yes. That's what they're calling that one. All right. I'm just throwing this one out here because I like his character tremendously, and he's definitely a bad guy, but he's so damned likable. It's Littlefinger, Peter Baelish.
What Peter Baelish?
I mean, he's so slimy and snaky, but so brilliant. And like when it comes to the Game of Thrones, there ain't nobody playing it as well as that motherfucker.
Well, yeah, because he comes from fairly humble origins. And
He's
I think if he'd come
Westerosi
from-
trailer trash.
I think if he'd come from a slightly higher origin, he'd be really doing well. But I don't know if he has quite enough
Is
power.
it a coincidence that Varys and Littlefinger are counterparts? I think that's agreed upon, right? They're maybe not rivals,
yeah,
but
essentially.
they're of the same cloth for sure,
Ilk.
right?
Yeah.
And
I can see
Varys
that.
is with the Targaryens now, and just Littlefinger is with the Starks. The Ice and Fire. Coincidence? Conspiracy?
I don't know.
Nah.
True. Hey, I'm with you, dude. I'm with you.
Hey.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, what do you think his endgame is? That's my burning question. I hope to have answered this season. What do you think Littlefinger's endgame is?
Well, didn't he say something like he wants it all? Like he
I
want-
don't think he really wants it all. That's the thing. I think he wants to be the guy pulling the strings, but I don't think he wants to be the one sitting on the Iron Throne.
I think
I thought he said he did, though.
I think
He very
Littlefinger
well may have, but
wants to be the guy that opens the door that allows the White Walkers to come in. I think that's his end game.
ooh,
It's like he's so spiteful, he hates everyone, and he just wants destruction.
what would he hope to get? Well,
Nothing.
I guess if he just wanted the destruction,
He would
yeah.
just, I don't know.
I love that idea. I think it's cool. I don't think that's his end game. I think he's playing everything close to the vest right now, and he's going to see who's going to be coming out on top. Obviously, he knows that Tommen's too weak to hang on to any power in King's Landing, and he's done away with Robin in the Eyrie, and that's all done. And so he's outside of Winterfell, and we have this like little glimpse of him. I think we're close to Winterfell, and I think it infers something going on with him around that area.
Yeah, someone analyzes that scene from the trailer, and they say that he's in the Godswood.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's probably right. Is he in the Godswood at Winterfell?
Yeah. The same set that they
So
used for
you
Ned
think
sharpening
he's
his
hanging out with
sword,
Ramsay?
and same scene for the.
If
the
he's
Ramsay
hanging out
wedding.
with Ramsay, he's going to get essentially done, because once if it is in fact Jon and Davos and Sansa that come in there, Sansa is going to have a lot to say to him as well. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is Littlefinger's last season. Maybe Littlefinger might be dead this season.
Yeah. Wouldn't be
Who
against
do you
it.
think will get to do the deed, though?
Oh.
You think it would be Sansa?
Well, Sansa can't kill both Ramsay and Littlefinger. Maybe we can amend, and Sansa can kill Littlefinger, and Jon can kill Baelish.
Yep. The whole fight type thing.
Yeah. All right.
I think
The bastards.
A new rumor out, guys, and this is something that book readers have been clamoring for years, because shortly after the Red Wedding, a certain Thoros of Myr, the Red Priest, who raised Beric Dondarrion from the dead repeatedly, is said to have found Catelyn's body in the river and raised a zombie Catelyn back to life. And we have heard through various facets that Thoros of Myr is back in season 6. So do you think this means just a return of Beric Dondarrion and the Brotherhood without banners, or do we think that this very well could be Lady Stoneheart?
I don't know if it means Lady Stoneheart.
It's a good
Go ahead, Jeff.
It's a good opportunity to add a little bit of creep factor. So
Is that too many dead people running around? Because we have Robert Strong, we have Beric Dondarrion, then Lady Stoneheart, we have very well could have Jon Snow.
well, didn't the one guy who got brought back to life transfer it to Caitlyn?
Yeah. Beric ends up giving that flame of life or whatever to Catelyn in the books. So that would happen, but I'm kind of actually with Meacham on this one. I don't think that they're going to include it. I actually think it's possible the Brotherhood Without Banners could be playing a role in season 6, although that is yet to be seen exactly what they're going to be doing.
It's interesting to see that Thoros is going to be back, because in the trailer, and in the book as well, they talk about a Red Priest showing up in Marine. And so now we have three Red Priestess / priestesses.
That's right. That was in the trailer. They have this new Red Priestess Marine.
So
I think part of that's going to be like Tyrion's going to use her to corral the masses as well. But anyway, okay, just wanted to throw that out there. One other burning question I have before we talk about the Jon Snow thing is, where the fuck are Rickon and Asha?
Yeah, no
riding
kidding.
unicorns,
Like, are we going
eating
to see
people.
them at all this season, or is that going to be like epilogue of season 8? He's going to be like, "Hey guys, I'm 26 now. I've come to claim my throne."
Well, considering that whole kind of the Onion Knight going to get them
In the book, right.
seems to.
And the indication in the book that they're hanging out in Skagos.
Yeah, that's changed. So who knows where we'll see them?
Is it possible for them to
Yeah.
continue that on this season? To have him go, like, meet with House Manderley to rally Stark support?
Well, you definitely have that. He's at House Mormont with Sansa from looks of the trailer. So it definitely stands to reason that could happen. I don't know. I mean, I think in the show, have they sort of said that they went to House Umber? I remember reading that somewhere as well. That they're with, Little John Umber or whatever. Maybe. Anyway, so do we think that we're going to see them in all the season? Or is that still on the back?
I would
the
think
back burner?
so.
It would be the very end.
I want to because I like Asha, but yeah, I think that's definitely towards the end. Guys, Jon Snow, the last of the burning questions we have for season 6. Jeff Meacham, is he or is he?
He is.
Is he?
He always has
Or
been.
isn't he?
Dead? I think he's dead, but who knows for how long?
Okay. So we're pretty much in agreement that he's coming back.
Yeah.
That leads to the next question. Gentlemen, is Jon Snow Azor Ahai?
Damn good possibility.
I say yes.
Have any circumstances been set in the show, or they're about to be set, that you can think of that would lend itself to the belief that Jon Snow is Azor Ahai? For those
Melisandre hanging
the messianic figure from Melisandre's speeches in the show, anyway.
Well, considering she's hanging around Jon Snow now,
She is,
and it's abandoned Stannis.
well, he done abandoned himself when he lost his head. We already talked about the whole Tower of Joy scene. So, guys, the question I'm going to ask you then is, if that is in fact Jon Snow at Winterfell and on his white horse, bearing Longclaw, and we're not going to even get into any theories about the Longclaw sword or anything like that, but if his parentage is somehow revealed to him, like he awakens out of his death or whatever with knowledge of his parentage, does he take a new name, a new surname, if you will? And I've heard like, oh, he's going to be Jon Stark. I'm like, well, if he's the son of Rhaegar, he should be Jon Targaryen.
Targaryen. Yeah.
So do we see him asserting himself as a Targaryen? Do you see him asserting himself as a Snow, or do you see him asserting himself as a Stark?
I think he's always wanted to be a Stark. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if he takes Stark
in this
or
little
Targaryen.
paparazzi picture, he is wearing Stark armor.
So that could lend a little credence to the Stark.
And I'm sure he wants to maybe not get revenge, but some comeuppance for what has happened to the Starks as well. And of course, he might very well have the idea. If they're playing off this messianic Azor Ahai figure, he very well could, I think, eventually take on the Targaryen name. Of course, George R. R. Martin does not like to do the obvious thing, and some people are complaining that that's the obvious thing at this point. But I'm not so sure. I think
he's going to hyphenate it. He's going to hyphenate it.
Oh, he's going to be a Stark
John
Targaryen.
Targaryen Stark.
Okay. Maybe that's it. All right, man. What are our predictions? Season 6. Meacham, go.
Jon comes back. Battle of Winterfell. Freys die. Boltons die. Daenerys just does more stupid shit that makes me like her even less. And Bran supplies information to Jon. Vital information regarding his lineage.
True,
and then that's
true.
about it.
Okay.
I mean, I think in regards to like Jaime and Tyrion and all those other characters, I mean, I don't really know what else can happen in Marine with Tyrion and whatnot besides, I don't know, identifying the heartbeat and getting rid of all that.
I think we're definitely going to have. I mean, the actors have said as much. We've heard it from two different actors on two different sets because Liam Cunningham and Maisie Williams are coming from two different sets. That the loose ends are going to be tied up. So I think all that shit's going to be figured out. I think we are going to know the full story with Jon by season's end, and everything else is just going to be gravy, and it's going to be setting up this conflict with the White Walkers. And I guess that's my last prediction is that the wall is going to fall. I'm not necessarily saying it is, but in the picture of the Night's King in the trailer, he has a horn behind him. Some have posited that that's the Winter Horn, and it could bring the wall down. And it doesn't even have to be that. All it has to be is a door left open from 1-1 crashing through, and hey, White Walkers and some Whites are going to get through no problem.
Yep.
So that's my thing, and I think that the wall, if it doesn't come down, it's definitely going to be abandoned.
Could Dragonfire melt the wall?
My predictions.
All right, Jeffrey, go predictions.
More White Walkers, more magic, more dragons,
more
bloodshed,
more than the 3 that Daenerys already has.
No, they're going to show more White Walkers scenes, more magic scenes, and more dragon scenes.
Okay. And I definitely think we're gearing up towards a big White Walker, White Dragon battle in the last season. And up until the meantime, though, like I think the finale of season 6 is going to be something with the wall, like coming down, or the Night's Watch abandoning, either getting killed, and some people surviving and going away. And like how great would it be for Sir Alistair Thorne to be like the one guy who survives the disbanding of the Night's Watch and comes to Winterfell and finds Jon in control of things
and bends the knee
bends the knee if Sir Alistair Thorne even makes it that long, because I'm guessing the traitors are probably going to get dispatched pretty soon. And definitely that fucking Ollie, Jesus.
Calling it out, Ghost and Ollie gonna have a little bit of a
Ghost.
Gonna have a meal.
He's gonna treat him like a chew toy. All right, guys. Cast from Culturally Rock, episode 3. I think we're done. Any parting words, gentlemen?
Vala Morgulis.
Vala Daharis.
I would say if you would take a man's life, you owe it to him to look to his eyes and hear his final words. If you cannot bear to do that, then perhaps the man does not deserve to die.
I want to die in my bed with a woman's lips around my cock or something like that.
Thank you, Tyrion. All right, man. Muchacha's out.
Reach him out.
Jeff out.
John, I actually think winter is over and we're headed into spring now.
Winter is coming. The snow will fall 100 feet deep. The ice wind will howl out the north, and the sun hides its face for years, and little children will all be born and die in the darkness.